Welcome back. You're watching Breakfast Daily here on Citi TV, and we have a lot more for you. So we'd like for you to stay with us throughout the program. Now, Pioko has joined me, and together we'll be steering the ship to a wonderful end. Good morning, Api.
Good morning, Nana. How are you doing?
I'm great. You look
Looking
beautiful.
very spiffy.
All right, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. And let's just remind our viewers that the show is interactive. So, of course, if you'd like to send us a message, interact with us, use the WhatsApp number 0550-585-832. And, of course, if you're texting us from outside of Ghana, use the country code +233. I think it's the best country code in the world. You know?
I know, right?
It has a lot of oomph to it.
Yeah.
+233. And of course, use the hashtag Breakfast Daily across all social media platforms, and we will hear and see what you have to say.
All right. So the MPP government has been touting the year as a year of roads.
This is year number 2, right?
This is year number 2. Year of roads. I mean, to be fair, we've seen the Minister for Roads, Amwakwata, go round, do some inspection, cut some sort. We even saw the president in the Upper West region and the Savannah region.
To be honest, if you travel the
Yeah.
length and breadth of the country, a lot has been done in the roads department, you know.
Yeah.
But
There's
it
still
doesn't change
challenges.
the fact that there are still challenges, and there are still Ghanaian citizens who are suffering as a result of bad roads and all that comes with that. Right?
Yeah. It's true, because there are some roads, and you see what really is of great concern is the economic impact of bad roads, is the impact of bad roads on health, the impact of bad roads on our education, the impact of bad roads on our farming activities, even on water pollution, because if it rains and there's bad roads, I mean, we are going to have so many spill-offs into a raw source of water, and this is going to come back to bite us so hard. And you see, sometimes when we sit here and we talk about our roads, it's not like somebody wants to wake up in the morning, come and sit on TV and nag all day and go back home. But you see, these are matters that concern you and I, and so sometimes we need to remind the authorities to do what they ought to do to make life more easier for you and I. I mean, we voted them into power for a particular reason. They have the resources we do not have, and so they should be able to put them to use to make life more comfortable for you and I. Yesterday, we gave you, a preview of a demonstration that was happening in the Ashanti region, the Sokoban area, where residents really had it up to here. With the poor nature of their roads. I mean, they had just had it, and so they just poured onto that same road, blocked it, preventing any sort of movement at all.
They said we can't use it anyway, so let's just block it.
Let's just block it. And they really gave the police a tough time, because genuine concerns, they just want their roads fixed. This happened in the Sokoban area in the Ashanti region. Now, if you know the stretch, that's the one that goes to Trede. It actually even goes to the Sokoban Wood Village. So you can imagine
these are your parts.
Yeah.
You know?
You can imagine the impact on the business of the woodworkers there.
The woodworkers, and then even our market traders.
True.
You see, a lot of the time, you mention economic, before we go to the report, you mention economic challenges that come out of, the situations with bad roads. Look, if you don't know what the value chain is like, typically, from farm to table, you have our market traders, a lot of them being women. They have to pay middlemen to make sure that they are getting good transportation deals to bring the food from the farms to the markets all over the country, including those of us who are in Accra, right? Now, when the roads are bad, the middlemen charge them more. The transport officers or the people operating these trucks, they charge them more. So when you are paying 60, 70 cedis for a small bucket of tomatoes in the market, know that is the reason.
Exactly. And you see, with inflation soaring above 30%, 31%, it will make sense, because one of the major contributors of our inflation figures now is food price inflation. So it will make sense to fix the roads from our food baskets into the market, so that it reduces the transportation cost on cutting the food from the farms to the market. And let's not forget
that fuel is shooting up as well.
Ultimately, it reduces the cost of food in the markets, and this will bring down our inflation. So I don't see, well... Anyways, let's take a report on that demonstration, how it went, and subsequently what the outcome was. Hafiz Tijani is our Ashanti regional correspondent, and he reports.
The protesters say the plight of road users worsens during the rainy season and the rush hours following the heavy vehicular traffic on the road. The portion of the road, which is less than 2 kilometers, has not been constructed as residents are demanding payment of compensation to affected property owners to pave the way for the project to be executed. Part of the 13 kilometers road has been done, but this portion remains a bone of contention following some outstanding issues between residents and the government. Residents want the road constructed.
We are trying to register our displeasure to the government. Our displeasure must be registered to the government. The government must hear us and hear us now. We are tired. Listen, we can't ply the roads when it rains. And when it is the right season to the dust all over. We are tired. Government, please fix the roads for us now.
If they don't come and face our road for us now, we will continue to demonstrate. For the government to see that we are very serious about this road. We are not going to stop this demonstration until they face our road for us.
Let's look at the challenges you go through, especially in this rainy season.
Now, it's a lot. It's a lot. One, in the evening, there's traffic here. A lot of traffic. You can be in the traffic for more than 1 hour. From this Sokoban to even Timpom, for more than 1 hour. Then you'll still be in the traffic. Secondly, in the morning, I'm a teacher myself. We find it difficult to go to school, even the car is not coming, for us to go to school early.
Some of the protesters have been lamenting the plight of road users on the stretch.
Petro no any boarding. Nesu yetimi traffic musa abra. Yebe ade besa no. Na yesika esese yede boy yede mo akoma ene ye bi yese scrap ni yenya.
How they mebre. Ekwana cheche. Ene futuro so sa ewiabo futuro wo so. Yesra ban se omra no meyemaye.
Although there was a heavy police deployment in the area, the police had a hectic time getting the demonstrators to remove the blockade to allow for the free flow of traffic.
Going to work this morning and we weren't even aware that there's going to be this kind of demonstration here. But obviously, so far as we've gotten here, and then the delays will affect us because we had meetings that we timed ourselves that by this time we should be there. And then now looking at the situation, it means that I can't be at Bekwai at 10 o'clock as I expected to do.
The Queen Mother of the area has called on authorities to urgently address the concerns.
They've even collected the people's money, 500 Ghana each house. So we are on waiting list. We hope for the better. We were hoping for the better, and we thought government will come to our aid. But since 2015, since 2016, nothing of that sort has happened. So today we just plan to do some peaceful demonstration to demonstrate to the president, to just remember him that Sokoban also is the Prime Minister of Ashanti Ghana, so he should come to our aid to fix our road for us. That's our plea.
Police and opinion leaders in the area later succeeded in getting the protesters to unblock the road and peacefully dispersed the demonstrators.
So that was a report from our colleague Hafiz Tijani in the Ashanti region. Of course, he's our Ashanti regional correspondent for Citi News. Now, we started talking, in fact, when the protests were going on yesterday morning, Hafiz was in the midst of it. He threw himself in there. We did speak to him. And so it's nice to see that he, continued the coverage as we promised you he would, so that we could see how things unfolded. So we have Hafiz on the line. Hafiz, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Now, thank you for, I can't imagine, how many hours you spent on that muddy road. You know, but how long did the protest take? When did people start leaving the road to, you know, go back to their homes?
Well, approximately 3 hours.
3 hours.
Approximately 3 hours. So they started from 6 and they ended some minutes to 10.
Yeah.
Right.
I hope it remained peaceful throughout the period.
Exactly. So the police were so professional to speak to these demonstrators. We had the divisional commanders within the jurisdiction, and then we also had the Deputy Attentive Regional Police Commander coming in to speak to leadership of the demonstrators. Initially, the assembly member and other opinion leaders who were spoken to by the police. And so they said that this is what they have put across because this is not an issue that is affecting only residents living in the area, but also other communities, adjoining communities, people who want to capture the Bekwai, the main of Wasi and Tati road because of the heavy vehicular traffic on that stretch to these destinations. They use this road. We have the Sokoban-Ampabame village, which is a very busy wood market in the Ashanti region, and timbers are cut, wood are being transported using this particular stretch. Because of the nature of the vehicles that fly that route and how close the house and human activities are to the road, the community members are afraid that if the road is not done and these kind of heavy duty trucks are flying this road, there could be a disaster one day. That is the concern. Not only that, the frustration they are going through. That frustration is also part because within this period, that is the rainy season, a lot of vehicle owners have to bear extra costs in terms of maintenance. The muddy nature of the road, not even making transportation on that stretch very comfortable for them. So they think that this is an issue that must be done. So when the police officers came in and tried to speak to them, they couldn't listen to them, and that's the demonstration to some hours.
So Hafiz, when was the last time this road saw any kind of facelift, any kind of maintenance?
So this was a major project by the government from 2017 to 2018. So when the contract started around 2017, when the contractor did some of the work from runabout from the Atinga Junction area to the Sokoban area. So the contractor began the work. It's a 13-kilometer stretch. This is the complete stretch of the contract package. But because of this issue, we are told the residents were of the view that since other areas, some properties were affected and they had paid compensation to them, why don't you also fast-track the compensation payment? So the work was completed in 2020. So that road was done, it was expanded, and it was given a very nice aquatic overlay. And having on that stretch, that used to be, it's not like now. A lot of things have changed. But it's just this spot is less than 2 kilometers that has not been done. That is causing the problem. The residents are talking about compensation and other outstanding issues. The opinion leaders, when I spoke to them yesterday, also put across an information that there is a shrine that the traditional gods of the community, and that shrine has to be relocated. So these are the issues that are hindering the construction of this particular stretch on the part of government.
Okay, so Hafiz, you're telling us that apart from the issues that the road and its state itself are causing, we have outstanding settlement issues in terms of compensation from when the contract that started in 2017 ended in 2020. Is that right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So the contractors, what they did was that because there were these issues that were not trashed out, so they left that portion of the road, went further to construct the road to link other communities, leaving this portion. So drive on a very good road, then you come on a muddy road or a road that is not so good, then you drive less than 2 kilometers, then you are on a very good road too. So that was what the contractors did.
So it's like playing Owari on large scale. Okay. So, but Hafiz, when in your report, we saw that you had spoken to Ohene Yeri, and she mentioned that some people, had come around and they had taken 500 Ghana cedis per home. What was that sum supposed to be used for?
So that is the allegation we had to confirm after we left the place. So she says that there was an evaluation exercise that was carried on the affected property. So later they alleged that some people came around and took 500 cedis from these property owners, and that they thought that they were going to do the valuation and get the people compensated because they were going to be affected. But they have not heard anything from them. So I head to the Feeder Road. This is a Feeder Road project. So I went to the Feeder Road manager who says that they have channeled all the concerns to the Ashanti Regional Minister. So the Ashanti Regional Minister will be the first person to comment on that matter. I tried to speak to him off record to get his view on some of these allegations being raised. He used to say that the Ashanti Regional Minister is the right person to speak to, so he directed it to the Regional Minister.
But Hafiz, the Queen Mother sought to suggest that some residents had paid some money for the road to be fixed. Now, being there and throughout your interactions, are you able to ascertain whom these monies were paid to and for what purpose exactly?
Well, they said some people came from an authority. They were not able to point out to the authority. Even the Queen Mother herself, she was not able to say which of the people came around, whether they were from the assembly or from the Roads and Highways Ministries or the department under the Roads and Highways Ministry. We tried to get some of these claims and ascertain, but the issue looks to the information that was coming through those countries. So that was why we went ahead to get a better clarification from the authorities, that is the Citi, and they also directed it to the regional minister.
Right. Now, the claim that it is the location of this stone god or the shrine of the stone god that has contributed to the lull in the construction of the road. How close is this shrine to the road? And of course, from where you sit or when you look at the stretch, is it possible for the road to go round it? And if not, are the people willing to pacify the gods so that the shrine can be relocated?
Okay, so from where the construction of the road, the rehabilitation of the road ended, then when you move like some 2 minutes, you have a place, a drain that is there, and there are settlements after the drain, and this is where we are told that the shrine is located. So it's not possible for the contractors to go around or construct the road leaving the shrine. The people insisted that the plan was that if that was to be done, then you have to do away with the shrine that is the bone of contention now, for they can construct the road. Because the road itself, in the contract, it was supposed to be an expansion and rehabilitation. So the rehabilitation can be done without even touching it. But it's the expansion of the road that is the major issue. So when you look at Asinga Junction area to where the construction has stopped, the road has been expanded. That stretch didn't used to be so. So it was narrow, and drivers had difficulty in flying this stretch. So
all right,
now
Hafiz.
it has been expanded.
Hafiz, stay on. Let's speak to the mayor of Kumasi. We'll come back to you. We have the mayor of Kumasi on the line, the Honorable Sampine. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
I trust you're well.
By His grace, and you?
Grace has found me as well. Honorable, please tell us, I mean, this area falls under your jurisdiction. That's the Kumasi metropolis itself. This demonstration yesterday, did it come to your attention and the concerns raised by the residents or the demonstrators genuine enough to get you to act?
Yeah, thank you very much, and let me say good morning to you. Yes, true, it's under my jurisdiction, but I never came to my attention until they started the demonstration yesterday. As people about this, that as head of the Metro Security Council, I learned to notify the police of that action, but I wasn't in the know until we started that yesterday. But notwithstanding that, this is a matter that has been on. You know, that stretch of road from Ahunjo to Chede, it's almost complete, asphalted, with a section of about between 600 to 700 meters. That is that stretch of Sokoban to Ampabame, which is not in good shape. The reason has been that of compensation. As at the last time that the regional minister gave a briefing at the Ministry of Information last week Wednesday, we touched on that and talked about the quantum of money that we needed to fix. The compensation was about 50 million Ghana cedis. According to the contractors and the technicians and those who are the engineers, we need about 6 million Ghana cedis to fix that stretch as a dual carriageway. And the compensation is about 15 million. So we're having discussions. Okay, why don't you widen that place and use the rest, especially from the compensation money, as means of fixing the inner town roads of that place? Because they built the drains, they started with the substructures and all that. So it's just a matter of adding a little to it and making them tar the road completely for the inhabitants to use. So these have been what's been discussed. And we've engaged them. With yesterday's own 30 matters that they raised up, especially with some of the placards. Nobody from the KMA, nobody from RCC, nobody from Ministry of Roads, nobody from highways or urban roads has ever accused any chief or queen mother of taking money. So when people start writing certain things on placards as if that is the issue, it becomes something else. So if people speculate within the town that they suspect that people are taking money, that's why they are not fixing the roads and go on the demonstration and use those placards. It's kind of worrying. But honestly, I believe that demonstration, per the explanations we're giving, the effort that we're making to make that portion got fixed, was very, very unnecessary yesterday.
Right. Now, if we know all these, what has contributed to the delay? Could it be lack of funds?
Of course, definitely. You should understand that it's a fact that, and I wouldn't mince words or that we have difficulties now, especially with the cash flow for contractors and all that. And these are accounted for some of these delays.
Right. So, I mean, the entire stretch is under contract. Does this contract still hold? And is it with same contractor?
It holds, yes, because they are finished from Atinga Junction, Ahunju, right to Chede. Is that portion which has not been fixed? That's all. About 700 meters of that portion that has not been fixed. Then the rest have been fixed.
Okay, so Honorable, good morning again to you. So now we have this 700, meters, we're saying, right, of road that has not been fixed. The contract still holds. So what's the way forward? And how soon do you think, from where you sit, this can come to completion?
Yeah, last week the regional minister had discussions with the road minister, and I know this week they have a discussion with the finance minister. on not only that portion of the road, but other road projects within the region, and how to get money to give to the contractors so that they will fix.
Okay, but Honorable, has the money for this already been disbursed? Do you know, or does it now need to go to the budget level? You know, where are we in terms of the funding?
It's an ongoing contract, okay? And payments are made at certain sections, and we stop because of fund, and therefore it's not a matter of going to look for and going to write a new contract and making a contract. No, it's an ongoing project. Just that lack of funds made that portion cost off.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much. But before you go, I mean, you have given us this explanation, which is very fine. But for the people in this particular area, that Sokoban area, what assurances can you give them with respect to the completion or, well, some repair works on that particular stretch?
We've given them assurances enough. The road, as I told you, is over 24 kilometers. And we fixed more than 23 kilometers of that portion.
Right.
So and that's not even the end or the beginning of the section. It is in between the beginning and the end. And therefore, I don't think any planner, any development planner would seriously and deliberately go ahead and say, yes, I'm not going to fix this portion. It makes the whole project not useful. And therefore, the assurance is that, yes, we're going to get it fixed. We'll be talking to the finance ministry and the road ministry, and we're looking at the way forward. I know very soon we're going to get it fixed.
Right. But finally, before you go, what is the level of community engagement? Because throughout this demonstration, we've heard talk about a shrine and its relocation or otherwise contributing to the delay.
The matter of the shrine. We had engagement with the traditional authorities there. The matter of the shrine is, you see, people will just put in
right.
Look at argument, but it's not a matter of the shrine. The matter of why the place of the faces of compensation of which I've given you in my earlier narrative.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Sampine there, the Lord Mayor of Kumasi. Grateful for your time this morning as well as your insight. Thank you so much. So, yes, the issue of bad roads, Sokoban in perspective, the Sokoban-Ampabame road in perspective. And, of course, owing from the demonstration yesterday where some residents poured onto the road to register their displeasure with delay in completion of that stretch. I mean, genuine concerns there, but of course, the authorities have spoken to us. We just heard from the mayor of Kumasi, who has attributed really the challenge to the lack of funds.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how this pans out, hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah. All right. We did speak to our correspondent, Hafiz Tijani, from the Ashanti region also. He covered that demonstration, and really he did give us some insight on the challenges raised by the residents, the nature of the road, the area in which the road lies, and of course, some of the issues raised by the opinion leaders in the community.